And I understand where people are coming from. Like when you have a spiritual awakening, when you wake up to like who you really are, you think that you can skip the inner healing work because now you know the truth about who you are, but you cannot. You've found out who you really are, but you are in the body having the human experience. So this is what you have to deal with, because we live in a 3D world. And now that we've awakened, the healing work, the inner work that you need to do to heal yourself, to really come into full alignment with the truth of who you are, is going to be easier because you are spiritually awakened. Because through all of your healing work, through all of the inner work, through all the journaling, through all of the nervous system regulation practices, through all of the meditation, affirmations, visualizations, all of the things that you're going to be doing to heal, all of the new thoughts, new words, new actions, new people, new places, new things, these are all forms of healing. Through all of this work that you're going to be doing, you now also have in the back of your mind of the truth of who you really are. So you know that there's a point to what you're doing, and you know for a fact that it's going to work, because now you know the truth of who you really are. Your consciousness, your source energy living itself out as a human, which is a very enormous thing to find out and to deal with in the world, because 95% of people don't know that information. And even if you hear it on a TikTok, like if you hear me say that, you still won't understand it unless it's your time to wake up, or unless you are very receptive and curious about new information. Like it's a very small percentage of us who understand what that means, and who are ready to take it on, and who are ready to share information with, other people. Like, it's a very big thing. And so when you find out this big thing, you're like, oh, I'm source energy. I can skip the healing work. No, you can't. You manifested yourself into a human to have the human experience. So now when you find that out, now it's like, and I'm not saying you got to stay in the healing work for a long time, but you need to go in there to see why you do the things you do. And let me tell you why. You gotta go in there, because you, the person who's listening to me, is the conscious mind, and your subconscious mind is running your whole entire life. God, I wish somebody taught me about this when I was in school, or I wish that I didn't have to stumble upon this in my darkest days. But I'm telling you, so you can know, you're dealing with your conscious mind, which is you, the person that's awake and just walking around the world, the person that's listening to me. And then you have your subconscious mind, which is running about 95% of your life. So with your conscious mind, you can know all day that your source energy living itself out as a human. You can know that with your conscious mind. That's only 5%. It don't matter until you get your subconscious mind to understand that. Until you reprogram your subconscious mind, until you regulate your nervous system, until you get those old funky beliefs out of here that were programmed into you when you were a child. That's what your body is going to do. That's what your mind is going to do. That's what your words are going to do, because that's what they've been programmed to do. Okay. But it's reprogrammable. Okay. There's neuroplasticity, and we can form new beliefs, and we can let go of old beliefs, and you're going to have to do that. And that is the healing work. That's the healing work that you got to do, even if you wake up. Now, I do believe that there's a small percentage of the population that's going to be able to go through that like quickly, or kind of like skip over some of those healing works, or that some of that inner work. And in that case, that would be if you had a 2-parent household where you felt safe, loved, and cared for, and seen and heard. Like if you had a really good childhood, you don't really have a lot of inner work to do. If you had a really great childhood, you don't have a lot of healing to do. If you ate a really clean diet and you felt safe and loved, and you had communities, and you weren't me, Child, I grew up in the projects. My mom was the neighborhood crackhead. My dad estranged himself from me. He separated himself from me and my brother. It was very traumatizing. The whoopings that I got were so severe. They completely and totally traumatized me. I was in DCFS custody twice. I was molested twice. I was sexually assaulted as an adult. Like, I have a whole history of very complex, very layered trauma on trauma on trauma on trauma. And I went my whole life being undiagnosed with very serious mental health issues that I should have been diagnosed with a long time ago. Okay. And I like, so me, I'm someone who has complex trauma. I have CPTSD, not even PTSD. Not one event has traumatized me, but I had like 4 or 5 different witnessing domestic violence. Like, I had 4 and 5 things going on all the time that really affected my nervous system, really affected my brain development. And so I act differently than a lot of people. I had a lot of healing work to do, and I'm still doing the healing work. Okay, inner work really doesn't like end. You're gonna get to a place where you feel good with yourself, but you can always be better. You can always handle life situations better. But I've done a lot of healing work now that when I hear those videos that say, oh, you don't need to heal, don't listen to the people who say you need to heal and you can just skip all that. No, that's called spiritual bypassing. And even though I know that I'm God, okay, I don't like to say that because that makes people uncomfortable, but I'm source energy living itself out as a human. I'm not in the universe. I am the universe with the ability to speak, with the ability to think, with the ability to move my hand whenever I feel like it. I'm not this body. I'm not black. I'm not a woman. I don't sound like this. I don't look like this. I'm the energy that's moving my hand right now. I can know that with my conscious mind, but with my subconscious mind, who's been programmed for 30 years to do one certain thing, oh, that subconscious mind that's running 95% of my life, I better make sure that I reprogram it. I better make sure that I tell her, look, I know we used to believe that money is not safe. I know we used to believe that it's not safe to be seen. It's not safe to be heard. It's not safe to do this. It's not safe. I know we used to believe that we're not good enough. I know we used to believe that we're not worthy to be over here with these. I know we used to believe that we don't actually deserve this. I know we used to believe that we're not lovable because we stem in public, because we have these STEM. I didn't even know the word STEM. Okay, I didn't even know what that meant because my whole life I was bullied by my family. My family was my first bullies, y'all. Anyway, this is getting long, but you need to do the healing work. There are very many reasons why you need to do it, especially if you have CPTSD, anxiety, major depression, complex trauma, if you have childhood trauma. If I say childhood trauma and it resonate with you, you need to do the healing work. If you had a great childhood where you felt loved and cared for, mom and dad, family, friends, you might not have that much things to do. Maybe you're just lacking in a little bit of confidence. Maybe just, a little thing here and there, a month or a few weeks or a month or two, you're done. But there's a lot of people who have very traumatic experiences, who had very big things happen to them.